First of all, we have the queen of donuts and sparkles herself, Carly Ayers. Yeah, just take a seat. Second of all, if you have a chapter where the color looks a lot like fuchsia, it was probably selected by the next one, Sally Rumble. So, here we go. This Creative Mornings headquarters kind of chief team right now. We also have Joy, who's been working with us for a couple of months. And we're just going to do some quick introductions, I believe, starting with Carly. Give it up for Carly, everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carly. I am the Chief Content Officer, which means my job is to look at all your Flickr photos, watch every single video, all of them. I watch all of them. I watch all of you while you're sleeping all the time, and choose what we highlight in the newsletter, the blog, everywhere online, what we send to Shutterstock, what we send to other content partners, Lifehacker, Gawker, what we send out into the world. Fun fact, I have a nose ring. So you all learned something new about me today. Oh, and then, do we have images? My most recent projects include the blog redesign, the editorial team. We have a small yet feisty editorial team that covers different talks from around the world. Talk Watch Squad, which is still in the works, but to help me watch every single talk when my eyes aren't enough, as well as those Rebel Wisdom quotes that I worked on with Kevin and the good people at Shutterstock, and the newsletter, which is not as old as you may think, like me. One more. And this is my proudest accomplishment, is the Creative Mornings Tumblr, which is color coordinated, because I like when things are organized and color coordinated.
Hi, I'm Sally Rumble. I hope I've met all of you. I think there's maybe one or two of you I haven't hugged yet, so I'll get to you. I've never seen this slide before. So I'm from Australia. Shout out to the Aussies in the room. Come on. We suck. We're like so self-deprecating as a nation, and Aussie. Okay. I should have just started with that. I signed up for a little part-time gig at Creative Mornings 18 months ago and fell in love. And I guess that's how all the best things happen in life. You just don't really know what's coming, and then all of a sudden you're kind of smacked in the face with something really, really amazing. And I never thought this would happen, and here I am, and here you are, and I'm very happy about it. One of my responsibilities, host relations, yeah. I mean, you guys know I try to speak with most of you. I started Skyping, having one-on-one sessions with you. I haven't got to all of you yet because there are so many of you. But those of you who I have spoken with, I've just gained so many insights, because as headquarters, we're kind of, we sit in this like ivory tower looking out, and we're not on the ground, we're not in the field. So to hear, what's really happening out there from the mouths of the organizers is so valuable to us. And so I take those findings and I share it with the team, and then we make little tweaks. That's how things like the Facebook group started. Thank you, Christiana, for suggesting that. I hope everyone's enjoying it. So that's just kind of user research that I do. And then chapter applications, I review them. I interview every new applicant. I choose the illustrators. Many of you are wondering how that happens. We can talk about that later. And then I'm pretty involved with just our events, like the one that you experienced this morning. Although thankfully Tina took the reins this morning for us because we were so involved planning the summit. Thank you, Tina. Fun fact, what's my fun fact? I came to New York for 3 months, and that was 14 years ago. Yeah. Kind of like CM. There's a theme in my life. Yeah, so I came here with two suitcases, not unlike Tina. I'm still here. What else am I talking about? Recent projects. Yeah, wow, onboard redesign. I mean, you guys have already been through the onboarding process, and it was a bumpy road for some of you. You probably got really, really long emails with 1,000 million to-do tasks, and you probably had to keep searching for that email to find out what to do next. We're changing all of that. It's now going to be built into our back end, and it's going to be beautiful, and for all the new hosts to come. Host newsletter, I write that. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you open it. 10 new chapters. We all learned about that this morning. Been working on the summit for probably the last 6 months. And I mentioned the organizer interviews. My proudest Creative Mornings accomplishments, hands down, was the street etiquette event that we had in July. Really, really dear to my heart and special to me, just to give 2 people in our community a chance to have some stage time that probably wouldn't usually have a chance as black men from the South Bronx. So that really meant a lot to me, and diversity in general means a lot to me, and kind of mixing up our audiences, because everybody is creative. And we hosted it at BAM for the first time, thanks to a friend of mine who then introduced us to Ryan, who's here today. Stand up, Ryan. Everybody thank Ryan. We stole Ryan from BAM.
We're going to keep him.
And we want to keep him. So that's me. I think that's enough of me.
I'll go quickly. Kevin Nguyen, COO, born in San Jose, California. Grew up in Colorado. Been here since July 2011. I handle partnership stuff and then a lot of things that just help the boat run: finances, accounting, project management, HR, legal. I work closely with lawyers. I love them. Roadmap for the CM website. Fun fact, I can solve a Rubik's Cube in about 2 minutes. This is a donut car that I am in. Recent projects I worked on, a lot of the partnership campaigns, Unlock Cities campaign, which is the one we did with MailChimp, for instance, last month, is giving away like starter sponsorships. I think a large reason why a lot of the people who are thinking about applying finally did apply, which is why there was a flood of 10 really great applications. Sponsored theme months, I'm the one who pokes you, you know that. And financial model, like spreadsheets. Yeah. My proudest CM accomplishment, as weird as it sounds, is the first organizer agreement. Just because there really wasn't, we didn't know what the relationship would look like, how this would scale, and it was just kind of going back and forth on, what is the right box to play in, what should we make sure is clarified, what are the expectations, and what would allow people to still feel like this is something that they can take ownership of and run with in their cities. So, love lawyers. That's that. Okay, here we are, the Q&A section. Does anyone have any questions? If not, I can kick us off with one for the team. I'll do that. Just mull it over. I'd like to ask, and I know you can spend hours talking about it, but what is one of the most touching Creative Mornings moments you have had?
This.
Good start. Good start.
I think you may have noticed I've cried a few times over the last couple of days, so this is very touching. But I was floored when Stuart Scott Curran from our San Francisco chapter sent in his hello video. I don't know if you all watched the full version of that. Hands up if you did. Oh, good. I think his message was so valid and so important. We all do have, a responsibility to give fair stage time to everyone, no matter what you look like, gender, sexual identity. I'm going to bring the diversity piece up again. But when he sent that message, I was just so touched that organizers are thinking about that too, and I think it's a chance for all of us to step it up.
I have a question about branding. When I see your introduction this morning and you have these nice slides, and I immediately thought, wow, why don't you put these slides or the templates on the resource page? And then I thought a little bit, and I thought, but maybe this is not wanted, that we all do the same slides, the same introductory speech, because you want the variety of cultures in each chapter. So. But at the end, the question still is there. You have a strong brand that I like very much, and what is the degrees of where are the degrees of freedom, and where do they stop, and how do you balance these things? This would interest me.
Jürgen, I love that this question comes from you, because you're German and the Germans love rules. So I know, I know you would totally love it if I said, Jürgen, these are the slides you need to use, and you would run with that, right? Actually, as I was preparing the slides last night, late, I thought exactly that because I felt under so much scrutiny by knowing that all of you guys are going to be in the audience. I was like, wait a second, did we ever offer this slide in the resources page? And I went to look, I was like, no, we didn't. And here is the question. So I definitely think we should offer that slide, because I love it. It sort of shows so we will do that. But on the other hand, in the very beginning, Kevin knows that, I sometimes gasped a bit when I saw sort of the interpretations of our logo, and I have since let go a bit. As long as you don't cut it up, right? As long as it's recognizable, I'm personally kind of cool that you guys experiment, because I think that's also the beauty of Creative Mornings. As long as it's recognizable that they get it, that is all one big thing. But I would say, I don't know if you guys agree, but do experiment, And if you have a slide that you're really proud of, maybe send it to us and we all offer it in the resource page, right?
I think about that the way I think about, is this working? Like Moscow, those illustrations by Olga, or when someone creates something really magical, as the person who goes through all of your Flickr sets and like digs up into all these things, I'm also a little bit the brand police. Sometimes I'll see something and you might get an email about like, hey, let's not do that. But for the most part, I think from...
It literally says, don't do that.
I just do a video of me doing that. But
Where's Ross?
I send Ross a lot of emails. You're great, Ross. I love you. But I think Creative Mornings is sort of this like sticky, tacky DIY heart of creativity brand, and I think the more colorful it is and the more it's reinterpreted, you make it out of cake. You guys make cupcakes. You guys make all sorts of dog sweaters. You make the craziest things, and it's totally amazing. And I'm so touched whenever we find something like that. We add it to our Creative Mornings Flair Pinterest board. You should look it up. Really great. So it's sort of the similar take we do to like if someone approaches us and is like, we want to try to do something at night, or we want to try a mentorship program. It's like experiment, like do different things, figure it out. I think at the heart of Creative Mornings, it's just. I want to say one thing though about the night.
Okay. I think it's totally cool if you here and there experiment with, let's say, with a night event. I feel really strong though that you cannot start doing the same concept at night over and over. That's something I feel really strong about, because we can't start like diluting what the brand is. I feel like the fact that it's in the morning and that the setup we have in the morning, that should stay like that. If you want to start doing some every now and then an event in the evening, just make it different. Don't do exactly the same pattern. That's just something I feel very strongly about. But by all means, please experiment the way and let us know how it goes.
Blake was asking about New York. You were there this morning. It's huge. We have a really huge community. But like, have we seen any difference between an event with 200 people and an event with 600? Sally, I feel like this is your calling.
Definitely. Absolutely. You lose some intimacy. That happens. And we talk about having smaller venues and smaller crowds. and smaller events just to gain some of that back. But then we kind of are challenged with, well, are we going to piss off our community? Yeah, I think we had 800. We had 800 people on the wait list. So it's hard. We don't know what the perfect answer is. And Blake, I'm really glad that you brought this up because we're going to be brainstorming it this afternoon. It's going to be part of our session. I don't know what the right answer is, but we definitely lose some intimacy in the community. And that's why, thank you again to Kyle and Beirut who came up with this 30-second pitch idea, because we wanted to bring engagement back into the community. How do we get people to talk to each other? So the 30-second pitches is working for that. But how do we keep the intimacy and yet grow? I don't know the answer to that, but
we've also talked about hosting, like experimenting with smaller events on the side. And it's just something that we haven't been able to prioritize here at headquarters. But I see it in other chapters, and even if it's an idea like Creative Mornings Early Birds, there's people that really want to wake up in the morning, get together at 7:30 for an hour of coffee before the event that's like smaller, more intimate, or afterwards. I think that's a nice compliment. It allows, wow, my body's changing right now. I think that provides a nice space for especially those who are really interested in continuing the conversation to do so. In an ideal world, I would say, we're doing that in New York as well, but we haven't been able to prioritize it. However, I think it's great. Yeah, the question is, since the community is getting so large, will HQ be expanding?
Well, that's a really good question. I think about this a lot. So I can just tell you that these 3 people work so hard, and they have way too much on their plate. And we could literally hire 3 more people right now, and they would be busy nonstop. So we're balancing ideally I would love to hire about 3 people right now. But at the same time, and this all depends on our partnerships, obviously, and our business model. We can't hire 3 people right now. But also, I've been talking about this with Kevin a lot, thinking about the future of Creative Mornings. And I feel very strongly to keep Creative Mornings headquarters as lean as possible, as long as we can. And my intention is never to become a TED where there's 80 to 100 people working. That's not what I envision personally. I believe in small. I believe in, just being a small family, a really tight-knit group. And I never want to get stressed out over, oh my God, how I'm going to pay these 25 salaries. I want Creative Mornings to be nimble and lean. And maybe, who knows, maybe in 3-4 years I realize that's not possible. Maybe that needs to change, I don't know. But right now, where we are, I hope we can. Maybe, Kevin, you should say something about that.
One kind of tangent I've been thinking about, which is related, is other ways to accomplish more with the people we have. And, you saw John speak, and there's so many organizers that, I blink and they're already a year in. So I've been thinking about, with Sally, how do we have organizers help future organizers get onboarded? Or how, what does that start to look like? What are other ways where the community can help serve each other, all the needs, so it doesn't need to necessarily be, and this is great because I think in the data talk later, Claude will talk a little bit about the intercommunication between chapters and what's happening, and how the Creative Mornings HQ as the hub is kind of archaic. It's an old way of doing things, and is there a way where we can kind of make the connections like this event? And maybe create roles in the future where organizers that are really passionate kind of step up a bit more and contribute to building Creative Mornings and helping new chapters and coaching and mentorship, all those great, delicious words, how that can happen.
And just to add to that, we have dipped our toe into that water, thanks to Brandon, who came up with this great suggestion to start this buddy system. Hands up if you're a buddy. Yeah, so we reach out now to more seasoned organizers when we onboard new organizers and just pair them together to help them through their first few events, because everybody knows that the first few are pretty hard. And yeah, hopefully we will evolve that.
We can do one or two more questions. What would we change if we had the time with Creative Mornings?
I would build the tiniest little robot that would help you with all your video upload problems. And I would never answer any of those emails ever again. No. I love your emails.
Oh, did it work? Yeah, the internet in Africa, it just... zzz, zzz. Gotcha.
Kevin and I field most of those technical support questions.
Love them.
We love them. We're always trying to think of ways to do that better.
Yeah.
I think I love this question because I know I was talking someone's ear off about it last night, just about the idea of like, now that we have the movement, we have the people, what will we build? The movement? Yeah. Sorry, we're not a movement. We're just a bunch of really great people doing something really cool, which is not a movement. And Sally put together this amazing brainstorming session today that I think a lot of these questions are going to come up again, and I don't know if you want to speak about that a bit.
I'm so excited for the next, 3 hours. There'll be breaks, don't worry. But we're going to be talking about the future of Creative Mornings, and vision is going to be part of that. And the topics that we're going to be brainstorming all came from you. The surveys that we sent out 3 or 4 months ago, we were planting this brainstorm session back then because we wanted to know what you wanted to get out of the summit. So we listened, and we've compiled them into topics, vision being one of them, for everyone to brainstorm further with the help of IDEO. No big deal. This afternoon. So I think let's ask that question again in 3 hours.
By the way, we're not avoiding your question. I think we just simply do not have the answer, and
That is correct.
we are looking to you to help us because we get this all the time. I remember was it last year? We got this like super important, super urgent request for a call. Do you remember that tent thing in the city? I forget what it was. The New York City. Yeah, I was like...
It's the re-election of the mayor.
The re-election of the mayor, that thing. So they had a huge tent, and there was this... What? These people wanted us to throw a Creative Mornings in their tent for their event. And they were so like, you got to do this. And I was like, wait a second, what? No. But it was interesting. And we've got a few more of these inquiries, and I think that's what you're alluding to. Is like, wait, what? Why should we do this? Doesn't make sense. But it was a good process to go through, like, should we do this? And I think when you get these inquiries, just... think, what would Tina do? What will Kevin do? What will we do? Seriously.
WWHQD.
No, I trust you guys. The reason why we onboarded you and made you jump through all these hoops is because we trust you. So just pretend to be us and think like, should we do this or not? And then again, experiment and let us know if it fails or not, right?
It's okay to fail.
Well, you guys are all doing the right thing for me because you're here. But some people aren't here, and some people I just couldn't even get a response from. And I don't know what to do in that moment. I need help with that. There are some cities that have just gone silent, and I used all manners of tactics and and yeah. So communication for me is the most important thing. But I'm very sensitive to the fact that you all have busy lives. So. Connection is what I need with you, but it has to be the right balance of connection for you to fit in with your lives and for me. I didn't answer the question, but that's what's on my mind, and if we find the answer on how we can stay connected, and maybe it is with better profiles, we'll get there.
To me, it's as someone who's kind of like, I'm not doing the day-to-day anymore. Like, I'm more like constantly... like either schmoozing with partners or like more like the big picture thing. What I really hope you guys do is I'm tina@creativemornings.com. Email me if there's something that bugs you or you think we need to improve, just kindly let me know, or something that is really good. I might not always respond, but I will read them, right? So I really would love if you guys just let me know, or if there's something we really, really need to work on. Like just yesterday talking to David from Seattle, we were looking at the back end and he said, there's this one thing I really wish you guys would do. I was like, awesome, now I know, right? So if I don't know, I can fix it. So Tina, Creative Mornings. But again, I might not respond, but I will read it.
Mine is answer each other's questions. So whenever there's like maybe it's a technical question, maybe it's advice. Whenever I see someone chime in and say, "Oh, this is it," I think, "Amazing, yes,
It's working.
yes, yep."
Send me your best stuff. Because I do try to watch every talk and I try to look at every photo, but there's a lot of Creative Mornings chapters and there's only going to be more. So if you have a talk, you have a photo, something really, really special happened at your Creative Mornings, just email me. I love it. A bunch of you do it, a few of you do it, and I can't have eyes everywhere, so the more you can highlight like what's going on in your community and share it with me, the more I can just throw it out into the world and share it with everyone else. Carly at Creative Mornings.